here to share more about what's going on and also how you can obtain some help is Senator Marco Rubio. We do appreciate you taking the time with us. I know that you've been touring the state and surveying the damage around. If you want to share with us first some of what you have seen and experienced.
Well, where do you begin? I mean, we started in the Florida Keys. We landed in Key West, I guess, the afternoon after the storm, and a tremendous sense of isolation. I mean, it's one of the reasons why people love the Keys. It kind of is separated from, the rest of the, South Florida and the like, so it's a place to get away, and people love it. It makes it paradise. In this particular case, I think it's very scary. It's one way in, one way out, long, stretch there. Up until yesterday, the bridges had still not been open because they had to go through and confirm it. So I just remain very concerned about a lack of water, a lack of energy, a lack of fuel, a lack of food. And it's been, our top priority is to ensure that the resources are getting down there to sustain life until, we can build up capacity to really start rebuilding. So that's very frightening. We were in Northeast Florida yesterday, St. Augustine on the coast there. A couple homes fell into the water, number about 7. In Jacksonville, had historic surge in their downtown area. Just left with Senator Nelson, we went to visit a couple of the citrus growers here in Central Florida. They suffered catastrophic damage to a crop that's already in a lot of trouble because of citrus greening. We'll head over to Immokalee and Belgrade today, and then the president will be in Southwest Florida tomorrow. We'll join him, and then hopefully get back to the Keys on Friday. At that point, hopefully we have a easier access. They've been trying to keep the number of people going in there down to locals and businesses. We don't want to get in the way, but we are trying to stand up a number of places where people can come in down there and fill out applications for FEMA direct assistance for housing, and of course ensure that we can start getting more and more of that aid delivered down there.
We've been looking for silver linings anywhere we can find them, specifically to the Keys, because obviously we all share very similar concerns about what we're eventually going to learn here. Some of the silver linings have been it appears as though the overseas highway ended up surviving Hurricane Irma. The Key West airport able to be secured for relief efforts, and we had initial damage assessments that perhaps as many as 1 in 4 properties destroyed. And I know you might have had a little bit of guidance and a little bit of update to that might be slightly more optimistic.
Yeah, I don't have a particular percentage, and I also kind of shared that information. That was an initial assessment from FEMA, and when they overhead. We'll find out what that is, but let's at this point it's significant. There's certainly that in the Keys in particular, the cost of housing is so expensive. You have a large number of people, especially people that work down there, who live either in a part of a unit they're renting out or a trailer home or whatever. The trailer homes obviously did not do well in all of the Keys, but particularly in the middle part. So the housing stock down there has been significantly degraded. I can't give you a percentage, but certainly enough for us to know that there's some significant damage. And then there's some long-term consequences that we have to start thinking about. Anyone who's been to the Keys, as much as I have and I know others have, understand so much of the business activity down there is driven by family-owned businesses, small business. Yeah. Some have been there for generations, dependent on travelers and visitors. And you're going to see, obviously, a dramatic reduction in that for some time to come. So how do we help them survive with SBA loans and other things so they can hold on until we can get back to normalcy at some level?
It's such a good point.
Both the acute short-term challenges and then the long-term ones. And just as I was coming on, I think I heard you talking about like loans and mortgages. Most lenders, the vast majority will work with you on a forbearance. I mean, they're not going to forgive the mortgage, and you do have to call them, but they will work with you on forbearance. Some people have said, I don't know who my servicer is. I don't have the papers with me. I had to move to a shelter. There's a number they can call. There's a toll-free number that will help you find out who services your mortgage. That number is area 888-679-6377. That's area code 888-679-6377. And you call there, and they can help guide you through finding, who your lender, who's servicing your mortgage. That's the company that's handling it, so you can get a hold of them. And the other thing we've told people is, if sadly you've been driven from your home, you're not going to be there for a while, you should call the utility company and disconnect service to that place if you think that's wise, because it will save you a little bit of money there, even if you're just the connection fee will cost you. So you want to make sure that again, these are small little things, obviously, but they all add up. And then, working now with FEMA to start getting the paperwork in place for people that can't go online and don't have anywhere to live to get cash assistance from FEMA so they can find a hotel and then obviously some more sturdier long-term housing until we get through this.
You're talking about the FEMA effort, and obviously at the federal level, you have been working to secure those assets, and I know that FEMA has complete confidence at this point in being able to have the funds to do what they need to do. Just a real quick, what has your experience been? I've been impressed at how the local, state, and federal government officials have come together before, during, and after the storm. How has your perspective been on that?
Well, it's been good, but obviously there's always room for improvement. I think it's going to really get challenging here. There's a second storm coming now, and that is the, not Jose, but a second storm coming in terms of some of the aftermath that we're starting to see. We're starting to see, for example, the tragic story today out of Hollywood, Florida.
Yes.
Where 5 people have died in a nursing home.
Yep.
The causes are not clear yet. We started to see generator deaths on a couple spots across the state. You're starting to worry. It looks like I-75 at some point today. I just saw a report maybe shut down because of flooding. 2 days after the event.
It's such a good point. We always lose more people after these storms than during because of these types of events.
Imagine if you're I'm just using this as an example. Imagine if you're a sub shop, right? And you literally every day, you can't afford to close one day a week because that loss of revenue could cost you the business. Well, there are some people in the state that because of no power are going to be shut down at least 3 or 4 days, maybe longer, depending on where you are. And what about the people that work for them who aren't going to get paid? So there's a trickle effect here that we're beginning to see emerge in the second phase. And then parts of it that we haven't even talked about, agriculture. Florida agriculture, the citrus industry, which is one of our signature crops, not the signature crop, was already facing an incredible challenge from a citrus green.
No question about it. No question about it. Long road back.
We just saw a grove where a bunch of the food is on the ground, and now we're hitting a bunch of trees. So there's some groves here that are going to lose 80-90% of their trees. I mean, that's devastating.
Well, the clock's going to get us here, but we appreciate you checking in, the information and the time. Senator Marco Rubio, thank you very much. Rush.